Good morning, everybody. Time for tag number 6. And this week, Anne is asking us to use buttons on our tags. So I've pulled out a few things here, and I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this as always. But this fabric is something that I had bought a while ago, and I thought it was spring-like. It has lots of butterflies and floral. I lost a part of my video right here, so I did a little bit of feather stitching and I picked out a few laces. I think I want to use a bit of this lace on my tag, but it's too white, so I am going to color it. I have this glimmer mist. As you can see, it's a pale yellow. It's called Sunlight, and it's got lots of shimmer to it. But anyway, I'm going to cut off a few little pieces and spray it with this, just so I can tone down how white it is. And so I'll be back and share that with you, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, those little feather stitches are done. Now I'm going to tack this on with a bit of green thread. And then I'll come back and tack these other pieces on top of there like that. And so I'm just going to go off camera and do that. It's just, tacking it on with needle and thread. Okay, I have sewn the green lace on there, and I was getting ready to put these on, and then I thought about adding some beads onto the tips down here. So I'm going to go pull out some beads and stitch on a few beads down there, and then I'll come back and show you what that looks like before I continue on. Okay, I wanted to show you that I've added beads just on the tips of that lace right there. And so I was getting ready to do this one here. So I thought I would just share with you what I was doing. So I've already attached my beading thread. It's got a knot, and I've gone up and down a couple of times to secure the thread into the lace. So I'm going to just pick up 4 of these little beads. And one more. And then I'm just going to go into the tip. I don't know if you can see where my needle is, into the tip of the lace right there. It's kind of at the bottom of the middle of the lace on the inside. And see, I'll lay 4 little beads in there. So then I'm just going to come over to this area over here, bring my needle out there, and attach 4 more. So I'm going to finish doing that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have those 2 pieces sewn on, and you can see the beads are attached to the little parts dangling at the bottom. Then I'm going to put this doily in the corner there, and then attach the little rose to it like that. And then we'll attach the lace down the side, and I'll run some, add the buttons, add the buttons to it. See, I can't sew and talk, so that's why I always go off camera. It's like I can't walk and chew gum or something. Plus, I think it's kind of boring for you to sit here and watch me do some stitching, which I'm off camera anyway, so you aren't seeing it, so try and stay over here. But anyway, I'm just going to continue stitching this little doily on, and then I'll put the embroidered button on top of that doily, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, Okay, I have finished stitching on the doily and the little flower. So I've already cut the little piece of lace that I want to add to this edge over here. And I found some little buttons in my stash, these tiny, tiny little buttons. And they're a one-hole button. And they actually have texture to them. They have little ridges on them. But I was going to use an embroidery floss and do a French knot on top and attach those along the side right here. But my, I don't think my needle's gonna go through there. It may go through and then it may not come back through with the thread in there because I think the holes are gonna be too tight. So I think I'm going to attach those with a bead on top. So I'm going to attach that, and then all I'll have left is to attach the buttons. There's only one button on there so far, that one. So let me get these on, and then I'll go from there. So first thing I need to do is attach this. I'm just gonna, you know, do like a little couching stitch and put it on there. I don't think I even mentioned that I added another feather stitch under there, so it's almost hidden, but there's 3 of them in there now. But anyway, let me get that on, and get a needle here and some thread and get that attached. Hope that music's not too loud. I don't usually have music on, but I decided to put on music today. So after I attach this, I may have to do a little line of fabric glue along that edge because I'm sewing right on the edge, and you know, with this cotton fabric, it will fray. So to be on the safe side, I think after I finish stitching here, I'll just do that. So let me just continue tacking this on and be right back. Okay, I wanted to show you that I'm attaching the little buttons onto that lace. I did use just a tiny bit of glue, and I just rubbed it right along the edge there so that that fabric won't fray anymore, and then everything will fall off the edge. And I just yanked my thread out of my needle, so let me put that back in there. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm attaching the button. You see where there's just a tiny little piece of lace that runs right kind of through the center, right there where my needle is pointing. That's all that the little button is attached to. So I'm actually putting my needle through that little bit of a thread of lace there. And where are my buttons? Okay, so then we'll put a button on, and then we'll put a bead on. And I'm using the same kind of light yellow beads that I used here in the center of those buttons. So then you go back down through the button and back through that little bit of lace right there. And that's all that's holding that on. Not a lot there to work with, but we're gonna make it work. There we go. So I'm just gonna continue to put these on. Okay, I have attached 2 of the buttons. I just have one left, the little red one, to put down here, and we'll be finished with this tag. So I thought I would just attach this one on camera. If I can stay in frame, forgive me, I'm forever moving away. I'm just doing like, a cross stitch. Go one direction a couple of times and then you go the other direction a couple of times. And I'm using double thread. That's the reason I only have to go through it a couple times. Plus it's not like a garment. You're not putting a button on that's going to be used. So a couple of times through there is plenty to hold it on. I can find the hole. Okay. So I hope you all enjoyed the process, watching me build my little tag. It's always interesting to see what direction it goes in, because I'm not always sure, how I'm going to put these little tags together. So the only thing left is to attach it to the card, and I don't think I'm going to do anything across the bottom. I'm just going to leave it bare. So that's going to be my tag for week 6. Okay, I wanted to share with you something else that I've been working on, some other projects, but first, before I get into that, I wanted to show you some more of these little embroidered buttons that I've made. So this one has 2 different styles of little roses on there, bouillon rose, and then these are called, I think, wagon wheels, or another name I think is rosette roses, but these are super easy to make. And then I just filled the other areas all around the roses with French knots and beads. I don't know if you can see, it has a little bit of sparkle because there's little beads sewn throughout. And then these two are just little trees, and really easy to make. I mean, you just do a straight stitch or a back stitch and make the trunk, and then you just fill in the top with French knots. So that's just a couple other little embroidered buttons that I made. And then I tried making some Dorset buttons, and I have a few here, and I didn't do the greatest job on them. They're okay, but maybe I should have started with a larger size, because when you're working with something tiny, it's kind of increases the amount of difficulty to get it done. So I think I might have bit off a little bit more than I could chew with doing the tiny ones, but I finally got through it. But at least these look better than the first ones that I made. The first ones were horrible. They should have just gone in the trash, but I did use them on a project that I'm working on. So, but the main thing I wanted to show you was, let me get them all out here in my hand, and then I can show them all to you at one time. It's these little things. And what it is, it's kind of like they almost look like little pumpkins, but all you do is make a little stuffed ball, and then you embellish the top of it. So it's gathered. You can't really see the stitches on the bottom because I use the same color thread, but anyway, it's just all gathered together on the bottom and on the top. And then you just decorate them with beads or buttons or whatever you want to use on them. I think it would be a little bit difficult to embroider on top of these because you're working on top of all the little gathered areas, that's on the top. So your embroidery work might look a little lumpy going over on top of the gathers, but they are perfect for doing beadwork and things like that. So they're just, I think they're just adorable. I love these little things, and I had a ball making these. I did all of these in one day. I mean, they're just that easy to make. But let me show you what I'm going to be putting them on. I decided to make another book, a fabric book, and I'm going to do it again in crazy quilt style. And so this is the first one that I made of those little puffy balls. And as you can see, this one has little tiny green leaves on it, and then a little cluster of beads. There's one large bead right in the center, and then it has all these little loops of beads going around it. But anyway, I'm going to incorporate these into the book that I'm making. I'm going to push this away so it's not so close, but these are the first Dorset buttons that I ever made, and they don't look very nice. But like I said, it's going in a project that I'm doing, so I'm the only one seeing it, so that's okay. So I just wanted to share with you what I was working on, and I have several of these pages already put together, but I haven't done any work on any of them, just this one. So this is the first page that I've done, and I'm not quite finished with it. I think I need to add a little bit more to it, so I still have some work to do on this one. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my new subscribers. I know I have a few. I do appreciate the support. And you all have a great week. Take care. Bye.